This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
Welcome to 3 and Out, a TCSF production on 606 Media. I'm your host, Big Z, and again, this is an emergency Bears podcast because the Chicago Bears have just traded DJ Moore to the Buffalo Bills. Wild. Now, this might have been a push, because of the Drew Dahlman situation where he retires. So now we need to open some cap room so that way we can be able to sign some players that we'll talk about in a little bit. But also, what they ended up getting back was a lot higher than what we thought. They got back a second-round pick. We also sent a fifth-rounder back. So they're going to take up the entire salary of DJ Moore, and they're going to fully guarantee it. And they're getting a fifth-rounder from the Chicago Bears. The Bears are receiving a second-round pick, and they're getting cap room. All right, I'll get into cap room in a little bit, but this is wild. Now, if you look at DJ Moore's collection of work with the Chicago Bears, it's had its ups and downs, right? He started with Justin Fields, then moved on to Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams' first year was a disaster offensively, getting sacked all the time. Maybe they couldn't get into rhythm. I'm just speculating there. But it never felt like DJ Moore was the number one until Rome Odunze went down. When Rome Odunze went down for those 5 games, it was like, okay, we have to use DJ in the offense and make him the number one option. So whether it was a Caleb and DJ issue or was it a Ben Johnson scheming issue, because Ben Johnson likes to throw to the tight end, to wide receivers, to running backs. He likes to spread the ball around, and never made him a number one option, where in Carolina he was. And now in Buffalo, he will be the number one option. So Rome Odunze, going into his 3rd year, is going to have to step up. Another player who had pretty good numbers until the injury, and then even then wasn't able to be the exact same players that when he started. You have Luther Burden going into his sophomore year as well. Now he is going to be your number 2, Roma with the 1, or Luther's going to be the 1 and Rome the 2. That's to be seen at the moment. And then your number 1 receiver, not as a Bears fan, it's probably going to be Colston Lovely, because he can do it all. He can block, he can come off the edge and catch a quick pass, or he can go deep. He can do it all. And Caleb Williams has a lot of faith in Colston Loveland and Luther Burden and Rome Odunze. We've seen that, okay? So, again, the Bears traded away DJ Moore, get salary cap relief. They also get a second-round pick. And it's huge news. It's huge news. So there's a lot to cover there. Next step for the Bears, you're about 20. It looks like Moore was set to carry a $24.5 million cap number in 2026. What that's going to be after this, we'll come to see, because there's going to be more moves, right? They're talking about moving some linebackers. They're moving so-and-so, maybe renegotiating some contracts and make them into bonuses so they get paid out right away, and then, restructure contracts. Nashawn Wright, probably gone. Byard, Brisker, Garner, those guys are all gone. Who knows if they can sign on cheaper deals. But pulling up the sporttrack.com on the Bears, total cap allocation is $302 million and 17 in cap space. So they got 17 million in cap space at the moment. Dead cap is 12,917,000. So there's 17 million to work with Drew Dahlman retiring, trading with DJ Moore. There's still going to be some more stuff going on. We got till next week until the tampering period window opens. So there's a lot of stuff. We can see more trades. We don't know. Ryan Poles played it really, really good and close to the chest to get the maximum return for DJ Moore. All right, so guys, we are chiming in. Come on, thanks and for hanging out with me. But go ahead. What do you guys think of this trade? Is this something that you're happy about? Are you sad about it? Are you angry about it? How do you feel about DJ Moore getting traded away? he had spectacular catches in the stretch, and then obviously the play versus the Rams where he gave up. But you can't judge if you don't judge the entire composition of work, right? How much did he mean to the Bears, to the blocking game, the receiving game, the locker room, to those quarterbacks who were young and needed developing? And I think he's a very good receiver. He's the number one, and he's gonna go. Like I said, he's going to go to Buffalo. He's going to be the number one there. They have a running back that's pretty good, a great quarterback. They lost by 3 points in the playoffs in overtime. That should not have been a loss to Denver. They should have won that game. And considering the wide receivers that they had, which was all trash, this is a huge improvement for them. But again, we're looking at a young wide receiver core uh, in in um, in Burden and Odunze and Colson Loveland. So you've got three guys there with years on their contracts, while you have Caleb Williams on his rookie contract. And that brings me to the next point where we start talking about the cap. Is there's no reason we should be in this kind of cap hell while our quarterback is on his rookie contract. This is the time that you splurge on building a good offensive line, putting some good wide receivers. Obviously, we got a tight end, right? And stacking the defense to help out on the team. This is what you need to do. And right now, we're in kind of a cap hell because of those big contracts that we've given out, and they have not really panned out. Try to pull these up right now for you. Contracts here. Obviously, Montez Sweat. That's an issue, right? Montez Sweat is going to be making 24 million. Jalen Johnson, right? That's if they extend. I'm sorry, not extended, but 19. Edmonds 18. Jonah Jackson 17. Kokomet 12. Thayo Obendingo 16. Grady Jarrett 14. Kyler Gordon 13. Right? That's where your money's at. It's tied up in these things right there. All right. Let me see. Sorry, let me scoot over. I'm working on 3 screens here. All right. Bears still drive me to drink. I believe you, brother. I believe it. We drink every Sunday while we were live at Casa Humilde and Output Lounge in Berwyn and in Chicago. And yeah, man, definitely they drive us to drink. I mean, it's hard right now. He's gonna have to Ryan Post is gonna have to maneuver a lot to get that cap into a higher place where you can go sign the top the top, what is it, Lindenbaum, the center. If you're gonna go for him, he turned down 23.4 million. So what does that tell you? That he's gonna require a lot more. Do you really think he's gonna take a lower level offer just to come to the Bears? He's young. Why would he do that? He's 25 and a 3-time Pro Bowler. Why would he take a discount? That I just don't see that. The Commanders did release Tyler Badaz. He's 28, just a little bit older. If I'm butchering his name, sorry. I'm known for that. If it's your first time here, that's kind of my shtick. But Linderbaum actually fits the Bears perfectly if they can do that. But you gotta pick your poison, right? Are we gonna go after a center that's gonna be young and can develop with Caleb and move on and be, the Batman and Robin to that duel, or are you trying to gamble and get Max Crosby? Are you clearing cap to get Max Crosby or a center? And our offensive line is got some holes in it, right? We've got to address that. So are we addressing that in free agency? Are we addressing that in the draft? Do you want a rookie lineman? I mean, do you trust that in the window that you're in going into year 3 with Caleb? Right? You got Caleb for 2 more years on his rookie deal. Are you willing to risk that? Are you willing to take a step back after you were one play away, one drive away from getting where you need to be? All right. Obviously, I said it the entire season. We were playing with house money. The Bears are thin at wide receiver. I mean, you can get wide receivers very, lower in the draft. Defensive end, yes, that's very necessary. But it's a deep draft for defensive end. That's what I'm saying. Do you go for a proven commodity at a high price, Or do you draft very well now that we have 2 second-round picks? We have a first-round pick. And then we're still waiting for the league to tell us about our compensatory picks, which would be 2 third-rounders. So that's what you're looking at. There's a lot of balls in the air, and that's a lot of juggling. And that's why they get paid the big bucks to be the GM, and they have a great front office to do all that, right? That's why you have all these people under you. But you lost your right-hand man as your assistant GM, and he goes to Atlanta, and we're still waiting for the league to be like, hey, here's your 2 picks. All right, you can either trade them as assets or you can draft more players. So let me pull up the drafts. Chicago draft picks. All right, here's your updated draft picks. 2026 draft picks. Round number 125, round number 257, round number 260, round number 389, round number 4 129, and then we have 2 7-rounders. So I don't know what we're doing yet. Edmonds, Edwards, what's going to happen with those two? Um, we have no safeties on the board on our depth chart right now. So there's a lot of holes to plug in this boat. And it's like, how many hands do you have, Ryan Poles, to be able to plug all these holes all at once? 7 draft picks, cap hell. You're gonna have to literally pull Houdini and be able to do this all very, very quickly. Again, the tampering period begins the 9th, and free agency, I believe it starts the 11th. So it's next week. It's starting to the ball's starting to roll in, right? And then we got the draft right after that in a couple weeks. So it's going to be a hot season for the Chicago Bears. We're not going to stop talking about the Chicago Bears just because they're not playing games. There's a lot to talk about it, and we're going to continue to bring you everything that's going on with the Chicago Bears, whether it's on this new show, 3 and Out, where I will just pop on at any time stuff breaks, or on our weekly show on True Chicago Sports Fans, the flagship show that is moving to Sundays for the next 3 months while I coach softball. So I will move that over to Sundays, probably about 8 o'clock at night, and we'll cover the rest of the week and the entire sports realm in Chicago. A lot of rookie starters. I mean, could you do that? I mean, you've got to hit on every single rookie that you're going to draft, Ron. You got to. I mean, I know he did very well this year on his draft picks, and they produced very well. But how confident are you that he can do that again and pick 7 picks and they all hit? Right, finding the Manungai late in the round, right? That's hard to do. It's hard to do. And then even with football changing or college sports as it is, right? We got the NIL money. These guys are making pretty good money in college. Is that going to diminish the careers of some of these NFL players? Why am I getting hit over the head? Why do I need to get these many concussions when I already got paid in college? I'll make 3, 4, 5 years worth of money in the NFL, and then deuces. I'll just check out. Cash my check. I'm out. That might be a trickle effect of this NIL money. Neither here or there. I know that's not where we were going with this episode, but again, DJ Moore to the Bills. We send the 5th. We get a 2nd. Bears have a lot of contracts to look at. No safeties. The linebackers are going to be moved. We're moving to a 3-4, so you a linebacker heavy. So what are we doing? Our center just retired. Who are we going to go after? Lots of questions, lots of holes, lots of things to do. So, Ron, you I don't know how you do that. How do you put faith in so many rookies? I can see putting rookies maybe at a rookie here or there at safety in the secondary, or a linebacker. If you get a defensive end in the first round, yeah, I can see that. But I don't want any rookies on my offensive line protecting Caleb. All right. I want that Ferrari with the car cover on it. I want it protected at all times. I don't want rain, no bird poop. I want no one to put their fingerprints on my Ferrari. And that should be the goal, to protect one of your biggest assets that's going to win you games. You saw what he did this year. How many games did he win for us? The will to win that kid had, the Jordan throw, the how many? It was literally what you were talking about. Drive us to drink. Like, oh, here we go again. The cardiac bears, right? Pour up the scotch. Let's go. So definitely, it was a fun season. But every week after week after week of taking it down to a wire, I would like to see a little, some blowouts or some, cushiony games where we're up, 14 points and we're putting it away in the fourth. It was fun. Don't get me wrong. It was a lot of fun. Jumping in people's arms and high fiving. The crowds that we had at the live events were electric. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it does take a toll on you. I was exhausted by the end of the night. Exhausted. Right? Just took my nightcap, little scotch, a little whiskey, and good to go. Going to bed. Right? Back to work on Monday. But this is what we're talking about. It's going to be a season of changes and a season of uncertainty because we don't know what is going to go on. So let me know in the comments what you think of this trade and what do you think the next move is? Is it going for Max Crosby and making a trade for him? Is it going to be signing Tyler Lindenbaum? Or is it going to be one of the lesser guys? Are they going after Trey Hendrickson? There's a bunch of wide receivers that are now available. So do they think they're thin at that position? Or are they going to add a veteran? There's a bunch of guys. But are they going to have the money to pay those veterans? That's the issue. Those veterans are going to command this amount of money because you get paid on past performance. That's the issue with that. Right? You got your Stephon Diggs released from Atlanta. The wide receiver, we used to have him. He got released. There's a lot of stuff. We still need. I'll believe you. I would love Mad Max here. The city would go wild. We would have another player that can play from sideline to sideline and make tackles and tip balls up and then catch up and then go for a run back. We need Mad Max. That'd be great. The marketing for Max would be amazing. But the price that they're asking for is a top tier player and 2 firsts. Are you willing to do that? To gamble your future for today? Let me know, Ron. Are you willing to gamble? Are you a gambling man? Because that puts your defense in a pretty good situation. Your linebackers are still questionable. You have no secondary right now. You have no offensive line as a cohesion unit. You don't have your pillows out for the year. I mean, if we're playing Madden, right? And then you're like, oh, let's see what happens. I get it. But you're trading that at risking Caleb's being able to be productive like he was last year. With the uncertainty of a center, what's the quality going to be? Because if you're spending money on Mad Max, you can't get the top tier center. Your pillow's out. How are you feeling that hole? Dahlman really, in a way, while he did screw the Chicago Bears, and again, I don't know what the circumstances are for him retiring, whether it's personal, whether it's injury. God bless him. I hope he's healthy. But you're going to risk your best asset, which is Caleb Williams. You've seen what happened to Patrick Mahomes when he didn't have an offensive line. Okay. And you have him under control for the next 2.5 years, 3 years. Get Mad Max and go to the draft. I mean, we're going to the draft regardless. Right? But you'll be given a first. So there goes your offensive lineman that you couldn't afford, or you're another defensive end, or a linebacker, or a high level. Again, you're going for best player available now in the second round with no first round pick. Obviously, they're not taking quarterback or wide receiver, but or tight end. But you're definitely going to be an offensive lineman, a defensive lineman, a linebacker, some safety, some cornerbacks. They're definitely going to go with those best. So you're going to have to supplement. And I know Ryan Poles was on the radio today. He didn't catch the entire interview, but there's a lot for him to do. And he says you'll be surprised on maybe some moves we make or don't make. And there'll be supplemental moves. Maybe a lot of those players may come from being unsigned and they find some diamonds in the rough. Maybe some guys get released during training camp, OTAs, whatever. So there's a lot to go. We've got months and months of talking about different moves that can, will, or won't happen. And that's what makes Chicago Bears content great, that we can discuss all these possibilities and have a great time. But the report, to get back to you, Ron, is that Dallas and the Bears are the ones pursuing Mad Max the hardest. What are you willing to give up? Are you willing to give up those two first? And let's say we gave, Edmonds or whoever. That's a lot of. I get it, and I know why you'll gamble it, and in the way I would want to too if we didn't have to fill the needs on the offensive line. That's why they traded DJ Moore to get another asset. Now, could they package that up in a different way? We shall see. And who's to say it has to be this year's first or next year's first? Like, in consecutive years, maybe it can be with a year in between that gives it space to breathe or whatever it may be. They can get real creative on how they do this. So it's definitely a conundrum. So again, I'm trying to keep this show as a short show. I try to keep it under 30 minutes. Let me know, everybody else who was on the chat right here, what you think of the trade. Who do you think will be the next move? Will it be a trade? Will it be they'll wait for the signing? Are they going to wait all the way to the draft and then make moves? Let me know what you think. Well, that's what it is. That's what they're asking for, Ron. They want two first, like the Packers did with Michael. Yeah, exactly. And now, which is funny, and now they're trying to the Cowboys are trying to replace it, right? I don't know what assets they would be giving. I'm not a Cowboy fan, nor do I pretend to know exactly what they're doing or their cap situation, trade situation. I just know Dak's their quarterback. That's all I know. And they got a big star in the field, and that's the rating they have, 1 star. So that's not my team. They can stay over there. I just want to talk Chicago Bears and how we can make them better. And I'm gonna tell you right now, like for some reason, last night I caught a clip of someone else's podcast on my feed from Green Bay, for that Green Bay team up north, and they were scared. They were scared. They said if we get Max Crosby, that it's a game changer and do not expect to win for the next 5 to 7 years. So they are scared up there. Those fans, those fans and everyone that's associated with the media up there, they know that if the Bears are able to get a game changer like this, it's going to be a game changer. There's no going back from being the lovable losers like the Cubs are and the Bears have been. It's time for a change. And you've seen that now with Ben Johnson, who brought in his own staff. He brought in his own scouts. He's lockstep and key with everybody in the building. So it's going to be a different brand of Bears football. Okay. Yeah, FGB, 100%, all day and all night. All day and all night. Yeah. My day job is teaching, and if I see that in the hallway, believe me, they're catching a dodgeball to the chest because I can't hit them in the face. All right, I'm going to jump off. If anything breaks the rest of the week, I will jump back on, usually about 7:30. So let's do this again. Stay tuned. Hit that notification bell. Subscribe. True Chicago sports fans on YouTube. It's on. We're on Twitch. We're on Facebook and Instagram. Again, if all my handles are Big Z _ 606 Media. Find us there. 606media.com. We have merch on there for the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast. Go ahead and check out the cool stuff on there. My favorite thing, I've worn out my hoodie. It's like it was camouflage, and I've worn it for over a year. and I always wear my hoodies, and it's a great hoodie. There's uh, tank tops and softball shirts, and the Nike shirt's a pretty cool one too. So I have it in red. It's a Nike Tech. So go ahead and support your show, support your boy by getting that merch at 606media.com. There's a merch button. Click it. It'll take you to our Bonafide store. But again, if anything else breaks, we'll be back on anytime this happens. And then our regular show is going to be moving to Sunday, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. For the next 3 months. So March, April, and May. And then once we get to June, we'll reassess where we're at. So we want to make sure that we are covering everything because Chicago is what makes our sports teams what makes Chicago great. So I want to thank Ron and everyone else that's been in the chat, everybody that's been tuning in. I really, really appreciate all the love y'all been showing for this new show that we're taking on. And again, I'll have multiple guests coming in and out today. Everyone was really busy, so we couldn't have anybody. But you were here. You were here, you were watching, you were listening, and you were supporting. So I really appreciate that. So uh let's do this again, and we'll see you soon. And until then, be good to each other, everybody. For the love of sports.